Hey guys, what's up? I'm Noah. This is Analog Resurgence, and today I'm taking a look at Kodak's 35mm black and white negative film Tri-X 400. Tri-X. Kodak's Tri-X black and white negative film is a film that has such a legacy to it. It's one of the oldest film stocks that's still in production today, and Kodak introduced it back in its original form in the 1940s. So currently Tri-X is a nice kind of medium speed black and white negative film that is available in 400 ISO, and you can get it in 35mm film, 120 medium format film, and large format sheet film. And now for this roll of Tri-X, I threw it into a point and shoot Olympus stylus camera and just kind of walked around with it. Now Tri-X of course has DX coating on the canister, and 400 ISO is such a really common, really popular ISO that pretty much any automatic point and shoot camera is going to be able to handle it really well. Alright, so there are a lot of people out there who consider Tri-X to be maybe the best black and white film available today, and it's definitely got some good points in its favor here. The big things with this stuff are grain and contrast. Now I love some solid contrast with black and white film, and there's stuff in the past that I've kind of shot or played around with, and getting flatter looking images with black and white usually really turns me off of shooting it as frequently. Tri-X is always going to give you some super solid contrast in your shots, but that doesn't necessarily mean a loss of detail. So there is still good shadow information and highlight information while still having a solid amount of contrast in your image. Like, it's a film that really seems to kind of know what it's doing, which I should kind of hope so. And then there's the grain as well. This stuff has really nice looking grain to it that's like not obtrusive or super punchy when you shoot it at the box speed of 400 ISO. The grain is just enough to give you a really kind of, what is now at least, a classic look. It's just a film that doesn't try too hard, is kind of what it feels like. Other films can of course give you a wider range of tones or more gradual contrast, but this is what Tri-X is and what people love it for. And having this stuff to just kind of walk around with, or in the context of like a party or something just simply in a point and shoot camera, makes it fun to shoot, and it's easy. It's really easy to get shots that you'll be happy with when shooting Tri-X. Even looking at something like P3200 that I shot previously and focused on, you can see like a difference of contrast and especially the grain of that film that is designed with a higher ISO. Now Tri-X is also designed to be pushed and pulled in the developing process, which can result in you shooting it at a higher or lower ISO and then developing it for longer or shorter periods of time. So you could treat this film like a 3200 or 6400 ISO film and shoot it like that. And this gives you more contrast and more grain, but also different details in shadows or highlights, and it's something that I'd really like to come back to and take a look at in the future as well with this stuff. So Tri-X is a crowd pleaser. Like, it's easy to shoot, it's a lot of fun. Now it is a little bit pricier in terms of cost per roll for this stuff. Tri-X is just a little more expensive in comparison to like cheaper black and white stuff that exists out there. So if you do just kind of want to experiment with different black and white stocks, then maybe Tri-X isn't necessarily the first choice because of its cost. And I mean, Tri-X has just been around for decades, and with film stocks, legacy is kind of a fun thing to keep in mind. Kind of like how I was talking about Kodachrome and how important Kodachrome was, but also how Kodachrome is dead, so we're not talking about Kodachrome. Tri-X, however, is still alive. And I mean, maybe it's not necessarily the exact same film that it was in the 1940s when it was first introduced, but I mean, in some shape or form, it is still Tri-X. And I mean, Tri-X was being used in the 1950s, it was being used in Vietnam, it was being used to document the birth of punk rock. Tri-X is the film stock that Penny Smith used to shoot the cover of London Calling with. So I definitely recommend playing around with Tri-X and kind of pushing it to its limits, or seeing what you can get away with, and just kind of even throwing it in a point and shoot camera and getting out there and playing around with it even more. Oh, and Tri-X can also be purchased for Super 8 and 16mm motion picture camera. But Tri-X in its motion picture format is actually a reversal film, so it comes out of the developing process differently. As a positive, there's different chemicals involved, but I think that's a stock for another time. So what are your experiences with shooting Tri-X for photography and playing around with it in 35 or medium format or large format format. If any of you were shooting it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, how does it compare to the stuff that you're shooting it when you're buying it right now? You can let me know your thoughts on that and other film stocks and different stuff that you want to see in the future here on Analog Resurgence by commenting in the comments down below on this video or really any video on the channel. And the channel also recently hit 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. So I promise that very soon a special 10K video is coming, and I'm gonna focus on some stuff that people wanted to see. There's some questions I'm gonna answer, and that is definitely something that I am working on, and that is coming very soon. But if you wanna see all the examples, all the shots on this roll, and all the other rolls from all the other roll review videos, then there is a link in the description to the Analog Resurgence Patreon, where you will find more shot examples and some other extra stuff that go along with the videos. And all that stuff really helps to support me and support the channel. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon.